Today we are fortunate to be speaking to Justin Guay, the Program Officer at the David and Lucille Packard Foundation. And of course, the first thing I must ask you, Justin, is about the groundbreaking clean energy finance initiatives that have just been announced by the US and Indian government, in which the Packard Foundation is involved. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, so I think it's a good example of what the world looks like after Paris. It's a clear demonstration of new innovative sources of finance to catalyze not only clean energy markets, but clean energy markets that deliver for the world's poor so that we can marry climate and development goals and, ensure progress benefits everybody. It's also a really important strategic pilot that can help demonstrate how other sources of public money can catalyze, de-risk, jumpstart clean energy markets in developing countries, which is a key goal not only for the U.S. foundations that were involved, but I think also for the U.S. government.
And what are your hopes for the energy access issue in India as a result of this initiative? You mentioned catalyzing there. What do you feel some of that sort of scalability and future might look like?
So, the Indian government has started to make some fairly progressive moves on the policy front when it comes to energy access markets. They just passed a mini-grid policy in the state of Uttar Pradesh, which has, 180, 200 million people. So it's its own country, really, which helps to create certainty for developers. It helps to set some kind of policy framework in a state that, or in a market that had been up until that point the Wild West. And now they have a draft policy out at the national level, which would do something very similar, which is set some level of certainty around grid extension and how developers will get paid if and when the grid arrives, which is really important for de-risking investment, spurring market activity. So I think that's one of the markets we're pretty excited to see movement in. And then, of course, we're very excited to see, distributed solar products in the form of lanterns and home systems. There have been a number of really, really groundbreaking efforts from Selco over the past couple decades up to Simpa, who we invested in last year. And we think that there's a lot more activity that will come about because of these investments.
Fantastic. And you were also at the Energy Access X event at the SEM7 last week, the first time that Energy Access has really begun to take a center stage at that event. And you're talking again about sort of policy and finance. What were some of your takeaways from that event and sort of the future of off-grid solutions in terms of combating energy poverty and climate change?
Yeah, so this was one of the first events where I think it was really kind of palpable how much energy and excitement and attention this issue is getting. It's moved from what was, at best an afterthought of the climate and energy community to really kind of front and center stage in many ways. And that's, a reflection of the desires of really important progressive constituencies like the Indians. And it's also a reflection of the fact that these technologies now are the most appropriate for delivering energy services for the world's poor. It's no longer a question of clean energy being too expensive or an impediment to development. In fact, now clean energy is the solution to development. And I think that has, a big part of why we're starting to see those kind of conversations move front and center. So, yeah, I think that was my big takeaway. I think that there's also a tremendous amount of work that still needs to be done. Of course, we're kind of at the very beginning stages still in many ways, even though a lot of people have been working on this for a long, long time. So now the question is, can we catalyze on the excitement and move from kind of hype to, transforming the lives of people around the world?